he's not sitting here. The sitting is free.
Okay. One moment. This is for your presentation. You just press next.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have the pleasure and the privilege to be the moderator of this panel with distinguished speakers, a gender-balanced panel, not perfectly gender-balanced, but still much better than the newly established government in the country. Now, we are following the holistic approach of circular economy, and we will cover all the layers, starting from the government layer represented by Minister Julian Popov, one of the best in my long experience with Bulgaria, with a very strong climate expertise, moving to the Greek Public Authority Agency on recycling, represented by Vangelis Karamintzios, the president, then moving to the private sector, which is extremely important for waste management and recycling, with the guru of recycling, as I call him in Bulgaria, since the pre-accession period, Borislav Malinov, doing also other things to promote artificial intelligence and also artificial intelligence in waste management, which is the future. Then moving to the two important ladies, Monika Stanisheva, founder of the Green Transition Forum, which, as I mentioned this year, has become an institution. It will be further developed. And Evelina Tsileva, the president of the NGO, More Women in Power. So here we have two women in power. We need more women in power. And I'm looking forward to this panel, where we will follow the holistic approach of a circular economy, because circular economy, as Bobby knows very well, is not only waste management. It has started with waste management and liquid and solid waste. It is much more than that. Is the new economic model, contrary to linear economy, which is still, unfortunately, prevailing. Therefore, we are in a circular transition. We are not only in an energy transition, we are in a circular transition. And circular economy will be the holistic model that will ensure that we reduce our environmental, climate, and energy footprint, preserve the resources of our planet, as our resources are under threat, improve and boost energy transition, and ultimately reach climate neutrality by 2050. So I wanted to share with you these introductory remarks, and without ado, I would like to give the floor to Julian to give us, thanks to his long experience, let's say, the government and the policy approach on how circular economy is conceived in Bulgaria, and how does he see a circular economy in our region. The floor is yours, Julian.
Thank you, George, and thank you for the organization of the Sofia Economic Forum. It became a key event of the year where we can share views and visions about the development of the economy in our region. Your question about the Bulgarian government vision on circular economy has a very clear answer. There isn't such. But since I have to say something, I will add a few more things to that. I mean, circular economy is quite a complex thing, and it's very much about thinking. It requires a lot of thinking, because circular economy doesn't, as you mentioned, it's not about waste management, it's not about recycling. It has to involve the whole economic cycle, the whole cycle of design, of processes, of materials, of everything. Sometimes it is obvious and what we have to do. Sometimes it could be quite annoying, like this thing is part of the circular economy thinking. There's that annoys everybody in Europe, but it makes sense. The problem is that the thinking behind this has not been shared in advance properly. So there is some bureaucratic thinking which is not properly shared. People don't share it, and then they turn against the logic of such designs. But design of products is absolutely essential. That's why we have the directive for eco-design, and but we have to go much, much further than just directives. We have to look at everything, how we can develop processes and materials and products in such a way that they can be reused, recycled, and repaired, the three kind of key pillars of the circular economy. If we look back at our grandfathers, they were very much, especially the ones who have sort of country background, coming from villages and peasant background. They were living very much in the world of circular economy, because villages, they didn't produce any waste, so everything was used somehow. So, but that was circular economy based on tradition and very often poverty. And now we're destroyed that tradition, which is probably a good thing. And we don't live in poverty, we live in a world of massive and growing abundance. So we have to manage this abundance. And here there is a very interesting dimension, I think, in the circular economy, and this is the industry involved in the circular economy and the circular concept and the competition, because when we talk about business, when we talk about industry, we talk about competition. And the whole world of energy and industrial transition and the whole net zero path is becoming a field of fierce competition. That's why when somebody asks me, oh, Trump is coming, what will happen with the net zero transition? It will collapse. No, it will not collapse, because it's not in the hands of politicians anymore. I mean, politicians are sort of running behind the processes of international competition, which is currently won by far by Chinese companies and Chinese state, followed probably by Trump's country, US, and after that comes the European Union. But so that's my sort of general view. And just a couple of words about Bulgaria and probably the wider region is that we have to work very hard to understand the value of waste. And Bulgaria is absolutely covered with waste everywhere. And one reason is that we don't understand and that we haven't integrated the value of waste in the waste management process. So that's one thing that I hope to see this government or the next or the government after that to do and to push it a little bit forward.
Thank you. Thank you for your considerations. Indeed, this is not only a top-down process. I would say that it is mainly a bottom-up. And I'm happy that the business sector and the civil society are much more aware and are much more active than governments in that respect. Of course, circular economy is a priority of the Green Deal, as we all know, and of the climate law. And in that respect, there are also legal obligations under the waste legislation of the European Union, which is extremely stringent with targets, etc. So your intervention gives me immediately the idea that Bobby Malinov can tell us how the new concept to which you have referred, that wastes are resources.
Yes.
And the concept in the past, not in my backyard, should not exist anymore. The not in my backyard applies a little bit now about photovoltaics, and it shouldn't. Monika will say more on that, and wind energy. So how can we valorize wastes, something that you are doing since a very long time, Bobby, and how we can change our culture to have waste management as an activity which is beneficial to our society. And listening to Julian, our ancestors, and this is ancestral intelligence, were applying circular economy in all respects, on water management, on food waste, on reducing the environmental, climate, and energy footprint. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, George. I will speak in Bulgarian, sorry, but my English is not good like... Yes, thank you. Здравейте всички! Казвам се Борислав Малинов. Председател съм на Българска асоциация по рециклиране, която направи тази миналата година 25-я си рожден ден. Организация, която има традиции, която познава всички в България, които са в рециклиращия бизнес. Създаваме, помагаме и така нататък. Днес искам да ви поговоря за кръговата икономика, но по друг начин. Кръговата икономика е нещо, което наистина е полезно. И това е, аз съм си създал собствено определение за кръгова икономика. Това е когато една суровина в своя жизнен цикъл продължава да си бъде част от някакъв продукт, докато в много далечно бъдеще тя стане или част от нея отиде на сметището, или част от нея изгори за да се получи енергия. Но през повечето си време тази суровина е част от някакъв продукт. И представете си една приказка, искам да ви разкажа една приказка, която се развива в една държава, която се казва Евроландия. В тази Евроландия хората изхвърлят боклуци. Изхвърлят хиляди тонове боклуци, които ние всъщност не знаем къде отиват. Никой от нас реално не е проследил пътя на боклука. Разбира се, аз съм го направил, защото това е част от моята професия. Представете си, излъгаме нещо. Ето на този слайд иска да ви покажа. Ето тук отиват нашите боклуци. На тези камари от отпадъци, които са нашите сметища, които са непосредствено до градовете, на които живеем. 2 милиарда тона годишно се изхвърлят на тези сметища. Но ние не знаем къде отиват. А в тази приказка, която аз ще ви разкажа, боклука не отива на сметищата, боклука се преражда. Това е в страната Евроландия, която се случва. И всъщност, аз като гражданин, но и като професионалист, не се сърда за това, че част от боклука отива на сметището. Неприятно ми е това, че част от опасните отпадъци отиват на сметището. Всъщност те замърсяват. Това са кадми, олово, алумини и други замърсители, които наистина попадат в почвата, в водите и в въздуха. Най-вече от батерийки, от лекарства и от други неща. Както и да е. И всъщност това е, не изхвърляме боклук, не изхвърляме реално енергия. И в България, за съжаление, е една от малкото страни, която не го оползотворяваме достатъчно. В кръговата икономика, както ви казах за тази суровина, която се преражда, има и други ключови моменти. Най-вече е дизайна на продукта за мен. Всичко друго е интересно, но самия продукт трябва да се направи така, че всяка част от него да може да се преражда и за да ги няма ето тези купчини, които видяхме преди малко. Искам да ви разкажа за няколко примера, които са в тази страна Ирландия. Първият пример е за Philips. Една фирма, която произвежда много неща, но и електрически кружки. Philips вече не продава кружка. Philips продава светлината. Нов метод за търговия. Те достават кружката, те я подменят, те я рециклират. И ние заплащаме не за продукт, плащаме за услуга, доставка на светлина. Пример от кръговата икономика в Ирландия. Втори пример. Телефон, който се казва Fairphone. Fairphone, френска компания, произвежда телефон, който е лего телефон. Всеки продукт от него може да се замени с друг, може да се изхвърли само една част, да се купи нов модул и по този начин вие имате един вечен телефон и изхвърляте по-малко отпадъци на уния купчини, които видяхме преди малко. Ще ви покажа и трети пример. Българска компания. От отпадъци от бира те произвеждат кракери, които хапваме докато пием бирата. Ние реално тези отпадъци от бирата вместо да отидат на сметището, те отиват за производството на тези вкусни кракери и мога да ви уверя, че наистина са вкусни. Тази приказка всъщност е реалност. Ние живеем в България, ние живеем в Европа и тези примери, които ви показах, те са част от истинската реалност. За съжаление са малко, но ги има и показват пътя, че вървим нагоре, вървим напред, имаме наистина постижение в кръговата икономика. В България ние наистина можем да превърнем отпадъка в ресурс, където той да не отива на голямата купчина, а да се прероди. И се надявам вече новото правителство, което имаме, най-вече с помощта на Министерството на околната среда и водите, да превърнем това в реалност. Как може да стане това? Ето няколко нагледни практически примери. Първо, за да може да бъдем по-зелени, трябва да има стимули за зеления бизнес. Без стимули няма как да стане. Ето, дадени са 180 милиона лева от Министерство на иновациите и растежа за зелени сделки. Ние предлагаме да има данъчни облегчения за рециклиращи компании. Но тези, които доказано носят някаква полза, доказано намаляват отпадъка, който се изхвърля на сметищата. И за зелените стартъпи трябва да има специална програма. Защото без стартъпите няма развитие. Винаги се почва от стартъпи. Да, наистина, 1 от 10 успява, но едното е много важно да успее. Следващото, което е важна стъпка в развитие на екологията в България, да има продуктови такси за повече неща. Това са продуктови такси, които предлагаме ние за текстил, лекарства, антифриз, спирачна течност и някои други продукти, които са изпуснати до момента, защото системата за продуктовите такси в България работи много успешно. Много от отпадъците се рециклират и не стигат до сметището. Около 17 държави в Европа работят на този принцип. Отново призоваваме Министерството на околната среда и водите да включи тези видове отпадъци, продукти, от които се получават масово разстроени отпадъци, да се включат в нашата стратегия, която е за екология. И друго начинание, което ще бъде поето от Българска асоциация по рециклиране тази година, ние желаем във всяко българско училище веднъж годишно да влезе нашия екип и да проведе обучение за това как да се събират отпадъци разделно, как да ги изхвърляме разделно, как да намаляваме отпадъците и кой отпадък е полезен и кой е вреден, и кой е опасен за здравето. И това бихме се надявали да го направим заедно с помощта на Министерството на околната среда и водите и с Министерството на образованието, за да стъпим наистина във всяко училище веднъж годишно. Съвсем постижимо е, съвсем реално е. Там ще има подвижни класни стаи, в които децата ще ги обучаваме и това, разбира се, ще бъде напълно безплатно за тях. Кръговата икономика е нещо, което наистина помага. И аз моите заключителни думи предпочитам ги прочета, защото ги писах внимателно. И ние всъщност стигнахме до края на нашата приказка. Видяхме, че кръговата икономика не е просто красива теория, а реалност, която се случва тук и сега. Бъдещето зависи от нас, от изборите, които правим всеки ден. Ние ще бъдем част от решението, а не част от проблема. Присъединете се към нас, за да изградим заедно една по-чиста, по-зелена и по-устойчива България. Благодаря за вниманието.
Thank you very much, Bobby, for this comprehensive presentation and for expanding the scope of circular economy, because what is important is circular economy to be implemented and to happen in practice. And I was very happy to hear the awareness initiatives that you are launching with the schools, because we need to promote the new narrative of circular economy. I'm often referring to circular citizens and to circular households, where children can be also key actors vis-à-vis the parents in promoting circular economy. So thank you very much for this. Without ado, I would like to give the floor to Monika Stanisheva and ask her, I mean, this is what she's promoting, how the green transition can boost circular economy, because green transition and circular economy go hand in hand. The floor is yours.
Thank you, George. First of all, thank you for having me here at this prestigious forum. And I'm really happy to participate in this conversation. Thank you, George, for having me at your panel. So when we are thinking about circular future, we need to understand that circular economy can be a leading initiative regarding our sustainable development goals. And this is something that I would like to focus on in my address here in my talking points. Of course, we say that circular economy is a blueprint for sustainable growth. And the potential benefits of circular economy are really profound. I would like to, okay, so this is for a little bit later, but yes, it can stay on the screen. I will come to this in a while. So according to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, adopting circular economy principles in just 5 key areas like cement, aluminum, steel, plastics, and food could reduce global carbon emissions by 9.3 billion tons in 2030. And there is a very strong economic shift as well for the European economy, which equals 1.8 trillion in Europe alone, Europe alone by 2030, thanks to increasing resource productivity, reduced material costs, and enhanced economic growth. However, there are a lot of challenges. And the first challenge is that despite the fact that we say that circular economy is growing as a concept and as a policy, do you know how many percentages of economy in the world is circle? 7.2. So we are lagging behind if we want really to achieve a circular future. And something has to be done, and it has to be done quick.
You can take the other
Try
one.
again?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
maybe, yeah, okay. So, so here I come to the second problem, which is the lack of dedicated institutional representation. For instance, whereas the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change exists to support the global climate policy, or the International Energy Agency provides a coordinating structure for the energy sector, there is no equivalent existing for a circular economy. So a suggestion to have something like International Circular Economy Agency, a multilateral body that can champion the circular economy with policymakers and in United Nations systems, and that can coordinate policy, regulation, and standards, can be of use. And a third problem, some of the previous speakers has mentioned it, it is that the action of circular economy remains fragmented at all levels. Do you know how many circular economy plans there are around the world? More than 75. And also more than 3,000 policies are being, the different governments are being committed, but very often they are not aligned to each other. And instead of working together, they are doing the reverse. They're not helping each other. So here, what you see in this screen, this is a very interesting document, and this is one of the ways that we can go there where we want. And this is a document produced by the global well-known policy-making think tank called Chatham House. And it focuses on how circular economy can revive the Sustainable Development Goals. So the whole idea is that we need to link circular economy with the Sustainable Development Goals. Why? Because we are lagging behind very dramatically, and we are facing significant challenges with only 70% of targets on track to be met by 2030 from the global development goals, and 83%, we are not there at all yet. So this opens an important opportunity to integrate the circular economy into the Sustainable Development Agenda and to position it as a central solution to address global changes, including climate change, poverty, and biodiversity. And just a small example from this very comprehensive document, it has all the 17 goals from the global agenda are there. But for instance, if we have a circular economy in practices like refurbishing goods and product as a service, for which Bobby Malinov spoke about a little bit before, they can align with the goals for poverty, gender equality, decent work, and industry innovation. And hand in hand, both policies can work together to deliver much better results in expanding circular economy. So this is what I wanted to outline, and again, setting some of the other things which we can do, where the governments are coming forward. They have, of course, pivotal role in setting policy and regulatory. They are important, and for instance, the European Union has a circular economy action plan which aims to make sustainable products the norm in the EU. We are far behind this as well, but this is the goal and it's good to have it. So, of course, we need to rethink business models and innovations. We need to change, of course, consumer behavior. And I fully agree that this is a crucial action, and we all are responsible for that. For instance, there is an interesting study saying that 62% from consumers are willing to change their buying habits to reduce environmental impact. So we need to focus on this opportunity as well. And finally, I must say that the mutual benefits of linking the circular economy and SDGs are something not to be missed, because this is a momentum we have to build on. And I wanted to focus especially on this as an opportunity, because speaking about big things like sustainable and circular future, we need to think big and promote and big ideas. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you, George.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Monika. Indeed, the link with the Sustainable Development Goals is extremely important, because although the circular economy is a European product in the sense that we are the champions as regards the promotion of circular economy within the European Union, thanks to the Green Deal, to the climate law, and to our legislation, it is also a universal model, and we need to promote this worldwide. And through the SDGs, we have the tools to promote circular economy worldwide, hoping that other countries will follow the good practices that the European Union is developing. Social circular economy is extremely important, and in that respect, the role of women is pivotal. So without ado, I would like to give the floor to Evelina Tsileva, More Women in Power, to share with us the views of her important NGO.
Change their name to One Woman.
We need more women in power. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good evening. It is both an honor and a privilege to address you today at the Sofia Economic Forum. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers for the invitation and the opportunity to speak on a subject that is not only reshaping our global economic discourse, but also ensuring the prosperity of our future generations. It is important to consider that the circular economy embodies a transformative paradigm, a shift from the traditional linear end-of-life model to one that prioritizes reducing, reusing, and recycling. However, the transition to a circular economy must not only focus on the environmental and business dimensions. It is equally critical to emphasize the circular social economy, a bottom-up process that places a civil society at its heart with women as driving forces. Through my work specifically dedicated to strengthening women's representation in government, I have the chance to witness the potential and opportunities we have here in Bulgaria. We need just to realize that we must be united as a society and invest our collective interest to achieve a successful transition to a circular economy. Women's leadership is critical in this attempt. According to Greenpeace, 58% of sustainability executives in leading corporations are women. These leaders drive forward eco-conscious and circular business practice that promote equality and climate action. World Economic Forum has projected that the global economy could decline by as much as 18% by 2050 if climate change remains unaddressed. This warning highlights the urgency of sustainable investments to build resilient economies. A truly holistic and effective circular economy must confront its social implications as well, especially the role of women as leaders and change makers of this transition. Research from the Network for Business Sustainability reveals that organizations with greater female representation on boards demonstrate stronger problem-solving capabilities, awareness of social and environmental risks, and a deeper commitment to practice that minimize dependence on virgin resources. Moreover, women hold a distinctive role in advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, combining environmental sustainability with the promotion of social fairness. By placing women at the center of this transformation, we can unlock the full potential of the circular economy and catalyze innovation, inspire systemic change, and foster inclusive. Additionally, I'm convinced the education process from childhood is crucial in shaping the next generation of circular citizens. Through targeted educational initiatives, we can instill a sense of agency, innovation, and responsibility in young minds. At More Women in Power, we are collaborating with young women who are still studying at universities. Personally, I do believe that by fostering their engagement, we can cultivate a new wave of leaders who will carry forward the idea of sustainability and equity. In conclusion, let us remember that the circular economy is not just an economic model. It is a vision for a better world.
Evelina, thank you. You have convinced us we need more women in power. I would like now to give the floor to the president of the Hellenic Recycling Agency, Mr. Karamintzios. The Hellenic Recycling Agency is in charge of all the policy in relation to recycling in Greece. They are doing a great job, and we would like now to to hear the views of Mr. Karamintzios and the prospects of circular economy in Greece and in the region. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Kremlis. Dear Minister, Presidents, distinguished colleagues, it is an honor to address this great audience today at the Sofia Economic Forum. I bring you Greece's perspective on the circular economy as a blueprint for sustainable growth, a model that we believe holds the key to a resilient and prosperous future. The challenges of recent years, climate change, energy crisis, and rapid technological advancements have underscored the urgency for a transition to sustainable development. The traditional linear exploitation is no longer viable. Time is running out to adapt to the new climate realities and the pace of change driven by artificial intelligence. And the fourth industrial revolution demands swift and strategic action. Greece has embraced the necessity of this transition. However, we recognize a fundamental truth. Green growth must not only be environmentally friendly, but also economically viable. Similarly, the circular economy must not only close resource loops, but also drive innovation, create quality jobs, and enhance productivity. In Greece, significant steps have been taken. We have modernized critical frameworks like the Electronic Waste Registry and the National Producer Registry to strengthen recycle and resource management. These initiatives are integral to align green investments with the digitalization and technological advancements. Regional administrations play a vital role in this transition, setting the stage for municipalities to implement actionable solutions. Success requires collaboration between government, local authorities, the private sector, and citizens. At the Hellenic Recycling Agency, we are fostering this collaboration daily, ensuring that stakeholders work together to accelerate the circular transition. In a world of uncertainty, sustainability must be embedded in every scenario. This is where the private sector becomes indispensable in financing, preparing, and implementing green investments. At the HRA, our goal is to cultivate a competitive and innovative recycling market, ensuring Greece thrives as an equal partner within the European family of nations. Beyond infrastructure and investment, the circular economy is about changing mindsets. It is up to all of us to engage citizens, communicate the benefits of circularity, and inspire collective action. Greece is committed to this vision, seeing the circular economy as a cornerstone of fair, green, and sustainable growth. Is the future circular? We believe it must be. Together can make the vision a reality. Thank you, Mr. Kremlis.
Thank you, Mr. Karamintzios, for sharing with us the views of your agency. I have a short question for each of you, as unfortunately time is flying. So I will start with Julian. We know that Europe does not have critical raw materials, which are extremely important for the energy transition, for batteries, for storage, for renewables, etc. So the question is, how do you think we can recover critical raw materials? I mean, Bobby gave the example of the mobile phones, and how, through industrial symbiosis, we could promote the concept of recovering critical raw materials.
Sure.
Yes.
It works. Well, the raw materials question is very interesting, actually, and again, it requires a little bit of thinking, because at the moment we are all sort of horrified by the again, by the Chinese leadership in that field. But it's not just the critical raw materials, the extraction of critical raw materials, it's the whole supply chain and the diversification of supply chain. So we know there is a very, in the region, there is a very interesting battle about the lignite deposits in Serbia. And many people, politicians, would like to push Serbia to extract lignite in order to position Europe well in the battle with China. Yes, but China doesn't extract it. It has a very, very small percentage of lignite which is extracted in China. Sorry? Lithium. Sorry. Lithium. Because I work a lot on the lignite mines and things, and I do. So the lithium is imported in China. So China imports a lot of lithium. And one thing that we have to think is how to diversify these positions with importing, refining, developing batteries. And where we're lagging back is all this innovation, production, and development, not so much the extraction of the critical materials, but of course we have to make the extraction and processing a little bit more easier. We're getting a little bit too far in this area. And sorry about the lignite.
Thank you. Thank you very much, lithium. Julian, lithium.
I make that mistake all the time, by the way, lignite and lithium.
Indeed, we need to phase out lignite and to have more lithium. This is the challenge of the future. I mean, today we had interesting discussions in the morning, and I wanted to hear more on BRICS, because in reality, critical raw materials are in the hands of the BRICS. This is the reality. I would like now to go to Bobby and ask him, because of his very long experience, what would you like the Bulgarian state to do better to help you and to help those who are dealing with recycling to improve the performances of a circular economy in the country?
Нашата асоциация предлага вече 2 години едно просто решение, с което с приемането на една наредба ще се намалят между 3 и 4% отпадъците, които се изхвърлят на сметищата. 3 или 4% може да не ви звучи много, но борбата за всеки 1%, който по-малко се изхвърля на сметищата от отпадъците, които ние произвеждаме, е наистина жесток. А тук с едно действие ние стигаме до 4%. Какво е това действие? Приемаме система за организиране на продуктови такси за текстил. Когато текстила започне да се събира организирано, част от него отива, разбира се, за повторна употреба, друга част отива за рециклиране, около 30% от текстила ще отиде за рециклиране, което се получава различни продукти от този текстил. А около 30% ще отива за изгаряне с цел получаване на енергия. Това е само този текстил, който в него има смесени влакна, да речем памук с полиестер, като те не могат да се разделят от самата си същност. И затова те е по-добре да се изгорят регламентирано в сметищата, отколкото нерегламентирано в махалите, където редовно зимата се гори текстил. И с приемането всъщност на тази наредба, ние наистина ще намалим много отпадъците, които се изхвърлят на сметищата, и ще дадем нещо полезно не само за държавата, но и за обществото. Защото ще дишаме по-чист въздух. Поради простата причина, че по наши сметки на асоциацията, около 60 000 тона текстил изчезва някъде. Ние знаем колко текстил се внася, като нов и като повторна употреба, знаем колко текстил се изнася, знаем колко текстил се произвежда в България и едни 60 000 тона липсват. Знаем и колко се изхвърлят на сметищата. Тези 60 000 тона годишно са именно текстила, който най-вече ромите го горят зимно време в печките си и го правят съвсем съзнателно, да спестят пари за отопление. И това наистина ще бъде полезно. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Bobby, for this very realistic intervention. Monika, thanks to your extensive media experience and your experience as the the founder of the Green Transition Forum. What, in your opinion, could be the insights on how we can effectively change the consumers' behavior with a view to developing this new culture of the circular entrepreneurship, the circular household, the circular citizen, and of course, mainstream circular economy in all the policy areas. You are doing this in the energy transition. We have to do it in transport, in agriculture, in tourism, in everything. The floor is yours.
Thank you, George, for this question. It really gives me an opportunity to say my thoughts about this. It's really crucial and very important to tackle this consumer behavior with campaigning, because we need to raise awareness, first of all, of our actions. We need to understand that the more we consume, the more we pollute. And this is the reality. So we need to spread important messages to every citizen. And it should become part of the responsible citizens' thinking and behavior. We need to know, first of all, we need to do a lot of campaigning and informing consumers and also businesses about the consequences of their actions. With forums like Green Transition, of course, and with forums like this one, we are spreading the idea of circular economy, but this is not enough, of course. We have to have a holistic approach. We need to go to schools. I like very much what Bobby Malinov has said a few minutes ago about the campaign they want to organize together with the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Environment throughout the schools. But such a campaign can increase the awareness of the kids about their responsible behavior as well. And I think it's crucial to have interconnecting efforts into this. Yes, into this approach. And here I can share to everyone that together with George and with Circular Gaia Symposium, an organization which is really taking as its mission to promote circular thinking and circular philosophy, we are taking our journey to start a campaign which is going to actually help all of us to understand how and what we have to do in terms of boosting up circular economy practices through every single possible industry vector, because this is a holistic approach. We want to see circular cities, we want to see circular transportation, circular production, and each and every aspect from the circular economy itself. So this is something that we can do, and I hope that companies like Nord and companies which are really responsible can join this initiative. This campaign will be in 3 languages, Bulgarian, Greek, and English. And this is just a start. We really would like to see more companies and more stakeholders supporting this idea, more events like this, more lessons and circular economy lessons throughout schools, and this is a mutual initiative that I would like to draw a focus on, and yes, we will go together with this.
Thank you very much, Monika, for referring to this campaign that we can present during the Delphi Forum, if of course Mr. Tsomokos invites us. I do believe that until then we will be able to shape it better and start presenting in the 3 languages the roadmap of our campaign. Mr. Karamintzios, what can Greece and your agency bring to the region and to Bulgaria to promote the cooperation on recycling? Because there are Greek companies now that are active in Bulgaria and Bulgarian companies active in Greece. What would you promote further in that respect?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Kremlis. To promote effective cooperation with partners, stakeholders, and agencies in Bulgaria, the Hellenic Recycling Agency can adopt a multi-phased approach focused on collaboration, knowledge sharing, and mutual benefits by establishing bilateral agreements and frameworks such as MOUs and joint policy statements to formalize partnerships with Bulgarian agencies, stakeholders, and other entities by exchanging best practices on policy implementation and recycling. By adopting these strategies, the HRA can position itself as a regional leader while fostering mutually beneficial cooperation with stakeholders and the agencies in Bulgaria. This collaboration would not only strengthen ties between the two nations, but also contribute to the broader goal of sustainable growth in South-East Europe. Thank you, Mr. Kremlis, for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Karamintzios. Women have always the final word, and the final word is the most important, because this is what we take home. Of course.
Before the final word, because yes, women should have final word, especially in this kind of government situation now. One thing that Bulgaria must do, must introduce the principle polluters pay. And it's not a general thing. The parliament postponed it again with 1 year. It's the only country that hasn't introduced it as a principle for taxation and charging of waste disposal. And this is absolutely unfounded, based very much on false information that this principle will increase massively the waste tax, which is absolutely not true. So this is one thing that if Bulgaria introduces, the picture will change both for Bulgarian companies and also for Greek companies that operate here.
Yes, thank you very much for highlighting the polluter pays principle. It is extremely important, and in Greece currently there was a very big discussion on the landfilling fees, because the municipalities didn't want to pay the landfilling fees, because, as you know, by 2035 landfilling should only be 10%. And of course, in addition to the polluter pays, we have the DRS deposit and refund scheme, and the pay as you throw. And these are systems that we start now inaugurating in Greece, and I do believe that Bulgaria needs them also. Hopefully, in the next events and in the event of Bobby, we will have the chance to present all that. So, the final word with more women in power, and how you can become a driver in this process, and in the creation of this new narrative. You have referred to the children. Children have mothers, they have also fathers, but the role of the mothers when they are young is more important. I'm speaking by experience. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Kremlis, for this question. This is indeed a very important aspect. The research has shown that diverse leadership teams are better at innovation and long-term decision-making. This is qualities essential for the circular economy. Women leadership is, for instance, women leadership in supply chain management have introduced innovation in sustainable sourcing and waste reduction. In a circular economy, where system thinking is critical, empowering women in leadership is not just an ethical imperative, it is a strategic advantage.
Thank you very much. Listening to you, I was thinking that in Finland, there are positive actions to encourage men to be in power because women are in power. So let's hope that with the strong presence of the brilliant Bulgarian women during our next forum next year, we will be able to have a stronger participation and probably a stronger women presence in the governance of the country. These are the last words. I would like, on behalf of this panel, and as this is the last panel, to thank wholeheartedly Simeon Tsomokos and the Sofia Economic Forum, and of course the Delphi Forum. I believe you are all most welcome, and I believe Simeon will say a few words after this panel or later on. I would like to thank the speakers and of course thank the interpreters and all the friends and colleagues here present for their patience. Normally to stay until the last panel needs courage, and thank you for your courage. I'm wishing you a very, very nice evening and Happy New Year. Okay.